This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's 775-727-6800.
Welcome and thanks so much for joining us here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It's Thursday, December 2nd.
Well, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue says it appears an improperly vented pellet stove sparked an early morning fire at a home on Gilmore Road here in Pahrump. Fire Chief Scott Lewis says the initial call for help indicated that there could be people inside the house.
Just before 2 a.m. we received a report of a possible structure fire. The reporting party indicated that he thought he saw either smoke or fire showing from the rooftop of a nearby residence. As crews were responding, we were receiving additional notifications that there in fact was a structure fire and the status of the occupants was unknown at the time. The sheriff's records indicate there may have been as possible up to 5 people in this residence, so it was really uncertain as to what we had. As crews arrived, they confirmed a working structure fire. They had fire showing from the backside, which we call Division C, and they had smoke running along the marriage line of a double-wide manufactured dwelling. So crews made a really good offensive knockdown of that fire, knocked it down quickly, went right into their primary and secondary searches. They found no occupants within the structure. So from the standpoint of injuries, it was good. There was a bystander who arrived before FD and tried to extinguish the fire with a garden hose. We had medically assessed him, but he AMA'd and was then arrested by the sheriff's office for an outstanding warrant. It is an occupied structure, and we were able to make contact through the sheriff's office with the occupant who was traveling in California. That individual is fully aware. The sheriff's office and Pahrump Fire Rescue are investigating, and in this particular case, it was in a proper use of a wood-burning stove on a rear porch, where the smoke pipe was no longer attached to the top sections and it was just feeding raw byproducts, including flame, superheated air directly into the attic space of the house.
2 vehicles crashed head-on Wednesday night on US 95 near mile marker 88. The exact details have not been released at this time as to the extent of the injuries sustained by the occupants of those vehicles. Unfortunately, one 13-year-old male was transported by Grand Ambulance to a Las Vegas hospital, and 2 other individuals were taken by helicopter from the scene to a trauma center. NHP is conducting that accident investigation.
Well, the Nevada Department on Tourism on Thursday approved $760,000 in marketing grants to rural communities to market themselves as tourism destinations. Travel Nevada will distribute the 91 grants, which support a variety of marketing projects, from website improvements to attending consumer travel shows to advertising campaigns. Grants were awarded to nonprofit groups for tourism marketing projects that will result in overnight stays, generating room tax revenue for the state. The town of Beatty receives $7,497 and Pahrump $10,345, primarily for social media campaigns and magazine advertising. Elko received $25,000 and Goldfield $500 for cemetery pamphlets. For a more complete list, you can find the post on our local Pahrump Facebook page.
And the United States Supreme Court has in front of them oral arguments in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. The conservative court will be making a decision that will impact the 1973 decision of Roe versus Wade, eliminating abortion rights. The decision could mean that between 20 and 25 states would criminalize virtually all abortions, transforming the lives of people across large swaths of the South and Midwest, and go against popular opinion. More than half of Americans do not want abortion rights eliminated.
And we do, last year you had a loss, well, you had a few losses in your family, yes, and one of them was your cat.
Yes.
So we have a guest here. So this is Beth from Desert Haven Animal Society. And remember I told you I was going to bring a basket of kittens for you? And so you can pick out 1, 2, or you could take them all.
Well, you don't pick cats; they pick
you.
Yeah,
so that's what we were saying, that they pick you. So they're going to hang out for the rest of the broadcast, and we're going to see if you pick one by the end of the broadcast.
Babies,
and if she does,
all adorable.
Yay! But if you want to wait, or if you want to pick a few, it's all up for grabs right here. Basket of kittens. Thanks so much, Beth.
Oh, you're
for
so
bringing them.
welcome.
We'll see you by the end of the
Beautiful
broadcast.
surprise. Oh, look at these little blessings.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, a Beatty woman is under arrest for allegedly taking and using someone else's debit card. Brad Francis has more.
Brooke Dormanish has been booked into the Nye County Detention Center on one count of using a credit or debit card or ID without consent. A Beatty man called the sheriff's office November 18th to report a theft. The victim told deputies Dormanish, who'd been staying with him, left his home in his vehicle with two of his bank cards in her possession. Later that day, Dormanish was captured on surveillance video at the Circle K in Pahrump. Deputies discovered she'd completed a transaction of $35.70 using a debit card, which the victim confirmed was his. A screenshot from the video was also shown to the victim, who positively identified the person seen using his card as Dormanish. A short time later, a Nye County Sheriff's Office deputy located Dormanish at Desert View Hospital, where she was taken into custody without incident. According to the police report, Dormanish told the arresting officer that she had abandoned the vehicle near Tonopah.
And Mission 22 is a national nonprofit organization focused on helping Americans veterans, including treatment for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury. The name comes from a sobering statistic. Unfortunately, 22 veterans take their lives each day. Local musician, songwriter, and worship leader David Cardarelli talks about his involvement in the Mission 22 Push-Up Challenge, an event that draws awareness to veteran suicide.
I mean, my main instruments would be, I do play guitar, I sing, I write music, I play drums, I play piano, play violin, saxophone, trumpet. The list goes on and on. So I do write a lot of worship music, a lot of Christian music. It's just, we're a part of our church. We go every week. I lead worship there, where it's just a big family there, and then on top of that, I'm with a group of musicians at the church that are just amazing at everything that they do, and we all write music together. So, so we have our worship team at our church, and we'll mix it up with some of the worship songs that are out there and some of the new ones that we write as well. You know, we want to expand. We want to be able to share what we're doing. And you know, a lot of it is, especially with my original music, is I do a lot of like written scripture word for word, so it's almost sharing the gospel at the same time. So the online services are on Wednesday nights at 6:30, and the other service would be on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. You can go on Facebook, and if you by any chance miss it, you can go back and rewatch it on Facebook, and they put it on YouTube as well. It was actually a challenge that I saw literally the day before the challenge. It was actually Halloween. We were actually at our church doing a trunk or treat, and to be honest, I was actually kind of scrolling in our break, and I saw the challenge, and it said Mission 22, and it said it was to bring awareness to mental health for veterans, and that was like it hit home. Like it was like, let me read about this more, because those are kind of two big things in my life that I have really big respect for. Veterans, because of my dad. Well, I saw it and I was like, 22 push-ups a day, and to be honest, it was intimidating, because me and my wife Bree, we were just talking about working out, like getting into shape, and we haven't started. Yeah. And so all of a sudden I was like, I don't know, 22 I can barely do 10, you know, maybe 5, but I was like, you know what, I can do this. Like, I'm gonna push myself to do it. I wanna be able to do this. Like, I wanna be able to, like, because I deal with mental health myself, with ADHD, and I've had some health problems in the past, and so I was like, you know what, I want I want to overcome this. So Mission 22 is, they are a group that they bring awareness for the troops that have committed suicide. That, I mean, it's an amazing group that they have been all inspirational, motivational, like every single day. Like I get to notifications of like everybody doing their push-ups and doing like, hey, I couldn't do this, but I'm gonna do these instead. And it's just a group of people that we're all motivating each other. So it's really neat.
Well, 2 Pahrump organizations are teaming up to help put gifts under the Christmas tree this year for dozens of kids in our community. Positive Pahrump, in partnership with Pahrump Disability Outreach Program, is gearing up for the 11th annual toy drive. PDOP's David Berkowitz explains how you can help through a donation or request help if you're in need.
This is the 11th annual Positive Pahrump Toy Drive. We're so happy to again partner with her and with the Sheriff's Office. This year we're doing a little bit differently, so we are accepting people's requests for their families and their needs for their children to either Positive Pahrump, PDOP, or to the Sheriff's Office. And based on the donations we receive, we will then be picking the families that we can support, and we'll be collecting toys at Walmart on the 11th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then on the 12th, the sheriff's deputies will be delivering with Santa the toys to those families who were chosen. So anyone who's interested in receiving gifts can either contact Positive Pahrump, PDOP, or the Sheriff's Office on Facebook, or they can email sheriff@co.ni.nv.us, or they can email staff@pdop.info, and that will get them into the pile to be considered. And then, like I said, on the 11th at Walmart from 9 to 1, we'll actually be collecting donations, and anyone who wants to stop at the Sheriff's Office anytime between now and then can donate toys there as well. We will have a list at the booth on the 11th of what toys we think we're going to need, and so we will have that, so you can stop and we'll give you a list of what we need and you can head in and get that, or just get a list of, of whatever you want, and then we'll find families that can benefit. There's always someone who could benefit from the charity. There is no age groups. We've been telling everybody that with the shortages and the cost, that electronics will not be on the list of things that we're getting this year. So certainly if you have an older teenager that needs some stuff, we're happy to still accommodate that, just not with electronics this year.
All right, we're still hanging out with Beth from Desert Haven and the basket full of kittens. Love. She's got 1 million of them. She's going to adopt them all. All right, we'll be back right after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, now that Thanksgiving is over, many people are decorating for the holidays, which includes hanging Christmas lights, which can lead to a bit of an accident if you're not careful.
The most dangerous part of that is the ladder and falling, especially when you're putting them up in these weather conditions where it might be cold, rainy, wet.
Dr. Thomas Waters is an emergency medicine physician for Cleveland Clinic. He says the best way to stay safe is to only hang Christmas lights on the lower level where you don't need to use a ladder. However, if you're going to use a ladder to get up to the roof, be sure to have someone down below holding the bottom. And be mindful of the weather. It can be easy to overlook slick spots if it's been raining. As for other tips, carefully examine all of your Christmas lights and throw away any with frayed wires or broken bulbs.
These are typically things you pull out once a year. You should inspect them once you pull them out, and then inspect them again once you put them away for the season.
Also avoid hanging Christmas lights on anything that could be flammable, and don't overload your electrical sockets. When in doubt, Dr. Waters says it might be better to just pay a professional.
Well, if you're in pain, there's a good chance you'll pop a pill for some relief or play with a kitten. But there's other options, like adopting a cat. In today's Medical Minute from Spring Mountain Medical, nurse practitioner Peaches Duwan explains that pain can be managed without medication.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical, healthcare the way you've always imagined it.
Hi, I'm Peaches from Spring Mountain Medical, your hometown health and wellness provider. Today, I'm going to talk to you about pain. I'll bet you didn't know that pain can be managed without medication. It's a fact that many of my patients come to our practice conditioned to think that masking pain problems is a job for medication alone. The good news is that we have solutions that make medication the last line of treatment. Often, issues related to pain are psychosomatic. An evaluation that starts with an assessment of your mental and emotional outlook could be the key to permanent pain relief. Once we build your proper mindset about your health, we can explore additional treatment options, including proper medication if necessary. If you're suffering from pain in your back, neck, shoulders, or legs, schedule an appointment today. I'm Peaches Duan with Spring Mountain Medical, and this has been your Medical Minute.
All right, it's sports time with Doug Ferber. He's talking basketball for high school students, UNLV's team, and the Raiders and more.
Hello, sports fans. Last night, the Pahrump Valley girls basketball team tipped off its season with a 47-37 win over Sierra Vista of Las Vegas here in Pahrump. The Lady Trojans were led by senior Taylor Wambacher, who threw down 19 points to lead PVHS. Ivy Ramos added 11, and Adriana Avina added 8 points. Both Wambacher and Avina starred in volleyball and soccer for the Lady Trojans during the recently completed fall sports season. Coach Bob Hawkins said although his team won the opener, last night's game helps in navigating the rest of the season.
As far as overall, we played pretty well considering 4 of these girls that played a lot hadn't played since they were in the 8th grade because we didn't get to play last year. So we were pretty pleased with a lot of things. Now we just know what we need to work on. Defensively, we have to get a little bit better, and offensively, more patience in the half-court set.
The girls head off to Mojave Valley, Arizona for a weekend tournament beginning tomorrow. The boys basketball team tip off at Losey on Monday night. The PVHS wrestling team is off to a 4-1 start, winning the Boulder City Duels last Saturday, then defeating El Dorado of Las Vegas last night 72-12. The Trojan wrestling team travels to Desert Oasis of Las Vegas for a match this Saturday. The UNLV men's basketball team dropped to 4-4 on the season, losing last night to Southern Methodist University 83-64. Royce Ham Jr. scored 13, and teammates Bryce Hamilton and Justin Webster each added 12 for the Running Rebs in the loss. The Lady Rebs improved to 5-2 on the season, beating Utah Valley State last night 73-63 in Utah. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are now 12-10 on the season after losing 6-5 to the Ducks last night in Anaheim. The Knights travel to Phoenix to take on the Coyotes tomorrow night, then return home for a 4-game homestand beginning Sunday night against the first-place Atlanta Flames. Also on Sunday, the Las Vegas Raiders, hoping to stay in the playoff race, host Washington on Sunday afternoon. The Raiders are coming off a thrilling upset of the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day and look to continue their winning ways against Washington before traveling to Kansas City for a first-place showdown with the Chiefs on December 12th. Raider quarterback Derek Carr was nominated for FedEx Player of the Week after completing 24 of 39 passes for 373 yards and a touchdown at Dallas. If you have any inspirational stories, athletes, or ideas, send me an email at dougf@kpvm25.tv. Now back to the news desk.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we replaced the weather cam with kitten cam.
Yeah.
We had to.
A basket full of
Yes,
kittens is
thank
just as much as
you.
they say that. They are just so much fun. Beth's got 5 of them.
Yes, they are
three
gorgeous.
black ones there.
Yes, they're
And
camouflaged and gorgeous.
how can people adopt the kittens, Beth?
They can come down and see us Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They have to come down. They can come down and pick out their kitten and then fill out the application. And these guys will all be ready right before Christmas.
All right. And then we're waiting to see if Unette's going to pick one or 2 or more.
I'm waiting to be picked.
There you go. We'll be back in just a moment.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Looking at our weather, tomorrow high 72, low of 42. About the same Friday, Saturday just coming down just a bit to 69 with 42 and your overnights, and of course through the rest of the week, going up there just on Sunday and then back down to 64 by Wednesday with your overnights in the mid to upper 40s. We need a decision. It's like the Jeopardy theme song right now.
I love it. But
tell us.
I think I have been chosen. I'm not quite certain. I still want to spend time with each and every one. Tony the Tigress and all these 3 Panthers over here. I love them all.
So we will let you know, and we'll do a post on our local Facebook page.
Thank you, Deanna, so
Yes,
much.
yes.
And thanks to Desert Haven Animal Society.
Our
This
pleasure.
is the best Christmas present ever.
Good night.
This is good night. This is